أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. A new subject. So it may be difficult to start first and make our path clear. We need to warm up. It's already cold outside as well. Satisfying hearts, or satisfying the heart with the question, how? Now, satisfying heart, when we say satisfying heart, we think that we are taking the heart side of human beings rather than reasoning side of human beings. But when we look at the verses of the Quran and also reality that we are living ourselves in this world, we can't really separate or divide human beings. So my reasoning works through my emotions. So I cannot really shut down all my emotions and reason only. Neither can I shut off my heart and feelings, which is heart represents human emotions and feelings, and use my reasoning only. They work together. I remember once we mentioned that in most of the time, we reason, but at the same time, most of our decisions are based on emotional tendencies, but generally we reason about it. So this subject, satisfying heart subject, or making heart feel at rest, comfortable, of course not in the grave. Before you go to grave, we have to be in rest, actually, rest of heart. We have to have it. Quran says, Quran emphasizes on the importance of using the reasoning. When he uses different vocabulary, tadhakkur, tafakkur, tadabbur, taqil. It means learning, really considering deeply, becoming reflective on a particular subject, tadabbur being really very deeply thinking about something, and not only on a temporary base, completely lost of words, but all of them are related to using our human ability to think. Make our thinking within a logical consistency. But at the same time, Quran says, I am going to speak to the heart. And we will read those people who have heart. We will also read some verses relating that uses the word Quran, uses the word of heart for a purpose of reasoning, for a purpose of understanding. But we may usually think that in order to reason, we are expected to use our mind. But the Quran says something different, combines it. In order to reason, you have to use your heart. or we gave you heart. We will study those verses. What are we going to do with it? Why are we studying this subject? It has been troubling me for many years, actually. It is my own problem, but I feel that this problem is ubiquitous everywhere. So everybody must have experiencing this problem as well. We think that belief is something to do with our maybe emotional status from one extreme, another extreme, a logical conclusion. Well, logical conclusion only. These two poles are extremes. Belief is not logical conclusion only, it is experiential, but at the same time, it is not only spiritual, it is very practical, involved with the external world, and we have to combine them together. We have to use them together. Now, there are many points that we have to pay attention before jumping into this huge ocean of this heart and satisfaction of heart business. It's a huge matter, but I don't think I am able to cover all of them at all. No, just a little bit, maybe a bucket of water from the ocean, maybe just to pay attention to certain points there. What is revelation? God's speech, God's guiding speech to human beings. What is the? Although I'm cautiously using this word, nature of revelation, definition of revelation, very simple. God's speech, it means from one end, the eternal or infinite knowledge is speaking. From another end, human is receiving. So we have to see the combination or relationship between these two poles. One is coming from an eternal knowledge, knowing everything at the same time without any time and space limitation, but at the same time aiming at giving a guidance to the human beings in order to use their abilities in the most efficient manner to fulfill the purpose of their existence in this world. So when we read the Quran, somebody may look at one side only, say that no, Quran is God's speech, you cannot read or comprehend it because the source is absolute. That's correct. From another end, another extreme understanding, the dividing, any divisive understanding, God speaks to me, and it says that my language is plain language, clear language, you can understand. So I have to understand within my own capacity. These two attitudes towards the Quran have truth in them, but we have to combine because we are experiencing the same two poles at the same time. I am a human being with a limited capacity, or as I am, but at the same time, the one who speaks to me is speaking to me within his absolute knowledge, capacity of absolute knowledge. So you cannot say that I can understand everything within my own capacity. Yes, watch out that it's your limited understanding. It means you are a created being. You can understand the speech, especially presented to you by your creator within your own capacity. It is binding you only. It is called, in a technical word, if you like, subjective understanding. But at the same time, okay, knowing that the source is absolute, it means I cannot generalize it. I cannot say that the meaning I got from the source consists only what I understood. No, I have to be open, and I have to be open to other interpretations or other understandings, and at the same time I have to be open to increase, deepen my comprehension of the message, because the message is coming from an absolute source. So what we do, these two poles of understanding of the Quran must come together and work hand in hand. From one side, I have to be aware that the one who speaks with his absolute knowledge, but at the same time, he is also aware that I am, as a human being, is going to listen to it and understand it. He knows whom he's speaking to. So the same thing expected from me. Of course, I am going to understand the revelation within my own capacity, but this revelation is coming from an infinite source. I have to combine it. In history, in Islamic history or otherwise, whatever, the theological history, some people really took one extreme, said you cannot really interpret the Quran at all, just imitate it as it is literally, as it literally states the idea, whatever. The other extreme says, no, you can understand it, take any translation, the translation version of the Quran, and read it and you understand. That's it, that's all about it. And both extremes are really wrong because they contradict the nature of each other, each side of it. So we have to know that it is coming from, if you like, in an analogical language, it is coming from the heaven, but its roots are in the earth. Now it's here, or I would say it in the other way around. Not true, because the tree of paradise is described the other way around. The roots are on the top, then the fruits and the branches are down. So it means it is coming to me and I'm going to eat the fruit, but the root of the tree is the heaven, if you like, eternal, absolute, or infinite knowledge. So I have to bear this in mind when I read the Quran. I have to say, okay, I'm reading one fruit, but it doesn't mean that this tree only has this fruit. It has other fruits as well. And it addresses the whole humankind. Not only the 7th century people or 21st century people, not only certain geography or certain tribe or nation, speaks to everybody. So I have to be very comfortable when I am really reading the Quran, but bearing in mind that the sources are, the source of the speech is absolute, limitless. I have to be very comfortable. As much as I understand, I shouldn't be arrogant. I should be very modest, saying that much I understood. It doesn't mean that it means only what I understood. That's comfortable. Another side, or another aspect of the importance of this matter, how are we going to see that the Quranic message is going to comfort my heart? I will be very comfortable. Yes, you can. Because the absolute knowledge of absolute God or omniscient God is speaking to me. But knowing that I am here on earth, of course, speaking to me. Quran speaks to human being as far as I am concerned. So it speaks to somebody. As far as I'm concerned, I can see that God is speaking to me. So he's speaking to me, knowing that I can use my human abilities, and my human abilities operate only within the conditions of this world. So since I am put in on this world, it wasn't my choice. Yeah. And I can reason, I can feel, and I have emotional tendencies, expectations, a lot of all the human qualities I have. And my creator definitely knows who is speaking to, and I can use my emotions, I can use my power of reasoning within the conditions of this world. How can I be convinced rationally or otherwise, emotionally, or both as a human being, only within the conditions of my existence in this world? Only. How can I reason? What do you do in this world? You experience something and then get the information, and accordingly you learn and you develop how you are going to interact with the world, how you are going to use your human abilities. Is that right? Yeah, everybody is comfortable about this. So it is important that my creator, to notice that my creator is speaking to me within my conditions. He is not expected to, for example, he doesn't expect me to imitate him blindly, because he gave me the ability not to be happy with blind imitation. It doesn't cause satisfaction. If somebody tells you that, there is a news here or there, or something happened, or this is the reality, you start questioning. That's very human. What you need evidence that you can experience. That's how we are made. We cannot deny ourselves, because we are created by the one who is speaking to me. We should never forget. We should never forget. The one, this is very important, everybody, including Jim. So including you. Now, I need your judgment here. Do we realize that the creation of this universe is so much complicated? Very deep complications. It doesn't mean that there's no harmony, doesn't mean that there's no order. But this order is not a simple one at all. The more you dig, the more you scratch the surface of the things that we are experiencing in this world, the more amazing layer of sophisticated order shows itself, right? Who studies the universe in any sense, biology, botany, whatever, physics, whatever, in any subject, who doesn't get excited at the very sophisticated, perfect order that he or she discovers? Who doesn't get excited? Why do you think all the labs and scientists, academicians, or whatever they are, the professionals working, for example, there are in America some labs, 15,000 professionals work in one lab, not one unit, but it's a whole section. 15 professionals, they are all postgraduate students or researchers. It means they are the experts. They are looking for the really rules, the disciplines, the principles of creation in the world. So they will discover and more and more and more. What does it mean? If we think that this universe is not a simple creation, it's a simple being. It is so complicated, but this complication doesn't mean that it's meaningless. There is purpose in the existence of every single thing in this world, and not only the purpose in its existence, the purpose in the existence of its parts as well. It goes ad infinitum. You go into the molecule, it is not enough, into The atom is not enough. Particles, subparticles. Even you cannot really see and experience physically, but theoretically you know that there are very sophisticated layers of creation in the world. This is in the micro world. How about the macro world? It's the same. The more you discover, the more you become aware that this universe is really fascinating, amazing, not simple. Why I say this? The Quran says, I am the word of the creator of this world. So his action is so complicated and layers of meaning in it. His words are the same. It includes the endless layers of meaning. So as the Quran says, if you want to if you want to count the words of your Lord, you cannot. Even the whole oceans became ink. That is, you know that, not in internet, with the internet language is speaking. It's say all the hard disks, memories, and all trees become pens. And if you add 7 times to it, it means a lot, you cannot finish the words of God. This is the word in this verse is used kalimat Rabbi, or kalimat, God's words. Now, of course, this is the speech of God. You can say it, God's word, in terms of creation. It is the creation is his word, and you can also equally justifiably you can say that not the creation of the universe has endless speech of God, but also in the Quran, his speech, kalimat, the meaning, the layers of meaning are the same, endless. So from one aspect, it shouldn't discourage us that we cannot really comprehend all of it, but another aspect, it should discourage us that, look, there are countless layers of meaning. I can get 1 or 2. Yeah? So, but something. I wouldn't be left with nothing. I wouldn't be really empty-handed when I read the readings of the Quran. Of course, listening to the experts are important. It's important to listen to the experts. Why? Because we don't need to rediscover the wheel. It has already been discovered, so I have to go further. So benefit from the, if you like, a legacy of the previous scholars, and try to learn what they said and build one step ahead in your understanding according to your own conditions. That's what we have to have when we are reading or benefiting from the revelation, God's speech. The importance of this subject related to the satisfying hearts subject is concerned, and the strength, satisfying hearts with how. It is how question. Now, what does it mean? How question is related to studying the things, how they are happening. What we are talking about, religion. I wanted to draw the attention in a controversial way, not why. The why means religion explains, but how is science explains. So I said, no. In order to have a satisfied heart, you have to answer how. Why? because of the nature of the speech of God, who is the creator of this universe. Do you understand? We never separate from each other. So in order to understand my language, you have to look at my work, because you are with the work. Do you get it? You are in the universe. How the things are happening, you have to look at how the things are happening, how the things are coming into existence, and then you have to conclude, why do they exist in the way that they exist? Right? So satisfaction of the heart is not or cannot be based on, first, imagination, imitation, blind faith. Blind faith. The heart cannot be satisfied. Why? Because my heart works with my reasoning. So it's according to teachings of the Quran, we will see the verses. Heart is given to me in order to reason with it. It means in order to reach satisfaction, I have to see whatever I am expected to conclude, to have belief. Belief means my conclusion as a result of my observation of the universe. See that hearing the speech of the Creator must be confirmed with what I see as the act of the Creator. So I cannot separate them. So I cannot divide human beings, neither can I separate the speech from the action. So I have to always listen to the speech, look at the action.
I have a question about what you described. So you likened in the verse, or generally speaking, the words of God that are so many, you can't count them. You likened them to the universe, which I understand I cannot get to the end of, but I also understand is finite. It's not infinite.
Okay.
Is that the nature of the Quran as well? Is it also finite, but I can't get to the end of it? Or is it infinite because it's the speech of God? Whether it's the tree of heaven that is, gives you fruit, but it's a creation, so it's not infinite, it's finite. So
it is a historical subject. There's a debate, long debate on it. Okay. Since it bothers you, you can talk. Now, as far as the sorry?
It doesn't so much. I just thought maybe.
But it has been a dispute, a matter of discussion or dispute between the scholars. My conclusion is the source of the speech is endless.
Right.
The source of the meaning that you can extract from the universe is endless. Be careful. The source of the meaning you extract from the kalimat, the words of the action, is also endless, because it is coming from an absolute knowledge, absolute will, absolute wisdom, absolute power. So the meaning in one action, although action is one, but the meaning is endless. You can interpret this way, in another way, in another way, in another way, depending on the conditions, and also the excuse me, also dynamic relationship between you and the universe. Universe is dynamic. Your emotional status is dynamic. Multiplied by dynamic makes it endless. Ever changing. Although I am one person, although universe is limited in its material physical being, but the meaning it carries endless. Although the number of the verses of the Quran or God's speech, either in the form of Quran or in the form of Torah or in the form of Psalms, whatever, they are limited. But the meaning is infinite. So what's expected from you? First, you can jump into the ocean. You can never get to the shore at all. But at the same time, you can investigate, discover as much as you try to. You use your capacity as much as. So don't worry that one day this journey will come to an end. No. But at the same time, you are responsible within your own capacity. So there is no need to quarrel whether the Quran or the universe is limited or not. Doesn't matter. You cannot get to the end. You cannot get to the end of the universe. Neither can you get to the end of the meaning of the eternal speech, eternal knowledge, or infinite knowledge. So this problem is so simple to me. So, but bear in mind that if you take apart, and of course the historical quarrel was, among us, some people may be aware of it, was somehow related to political things. Of course, yeah, we are human beings always. Some people will be sincere, some people will be opportunist. So we will use this, exploit the sincerity of the people. So that is inevitable. That's what we have to watch out. We have to work seriously. But at the same time, this matter is not that much complicated. Although in history, some people were really harassed severely because of taking one side or another side. We don't have to take any side now, because we can solve the problem because we have more equipment. Then we can look at the universe. That's infinite, but at the same time, my capacity, I know that even, for example, you say that the universe is limited, okay, but you will never get to the end. Then why bother? But pay attention to the source of it. Why do you think the universe exists? To carry meaning to you, which means the carrying meaning is meaning about what? About the qualities of its creator. So the qualities of its creator must be absolute, because the creator cannot be describable or definable within the limits of this universe, right? So it is by definition absolute. So the source of the meaning is infinite. You understand that it is coming from infinite. So you are within the universe, but always discovering infinite. But so comfortable. The same thing applies to the Quran as well. So that is the definition. The importance of our subject now, again, coming back, satisfying hearts with the question, how? Because I am in this universe, without the evidence, I cannot get convinced. You have to rationally, reasonably prove it to me. Why some people say, I believe in God, I want to submit myself to Him, but my heart is not set. Okay, it means my heart is not at rest. We have to understand, your heart is not at rest, not because something is wrong with you. In your methodology, there is something wrong. You don't base your conclusion on your experience, because you are in this world. You have to experience it. If you don't experience it, you are always suspicious. I don't know. That's what they say. That's what I heard. You have not experienced that. So this is the very fundamental problem. Now, why is it a fundamental problem? Because we think that we should read the scripture, whether Muslims, the Quran, the Christians, the Bible, or the Jews, the Torah, or Christians also read the Bible, Hebrew Bible, the Torah, okay, when they read it, they think that it is a material which is something to do with religion, and it must be accepted as it is stated. It means imitated. So there are lots of stories in the Torah, in the Quran. I am not here to defend the Torah. It's something else. But we are here to speak in terms of the nature of the Quran, if you like. In the Quran, there are lots of stories. We cannot experience them. Historically, we cannot. Correct. But the Quran never mentions any of them for their historical purpose. No, we have to, if you like, dehistoricize it simply because of the definition of the Quran. Definition of the Quran is the speech of the Creator, guidance of the Creator, who speaks to every individual person, every moment, individually, conversation between you and your God right now. So whatever you read in the Quran, you will say, how can I relate it to my exact life right now? You can do that. You have to do that, actually. Not only you can do, you have to do it. If you think of any allegory, any metaphor, any historical narration mentioned in the Quran, in terms of its own historical conditions, you are not reading the speech of God. You are reading a history book. It's not the speech of God. That's why we think that the matters related to belief or faith is subject to not verifying within the conditions or under the evidence or witnessing of the universe. That's what we think. And of course, with this attitude, you can never get satisfaction, because always your conclusions will be based on assumptions, something you heard, narrations, but you don't know what the reality is. But you trust. You trust whom? You trust scholars, you trust the author of a book, or you trust somebody says, I know it, you because they are not expert on it. So I have experienced it, just follow me. And your faith, your belief is floating, not settled down on your reality. That's why you don't feel satisfied. My problem with this satisfaction of the heart, with the question of how, it means satisfaction must be based on the reality of the world you are experiencing. But this world is not simple, okay? The human beings who are experiencing this world the human beings are not simple creatures either. We are very much complicated. Yes, that is true. The universe is very much complicated. Yes, this is true. But never forget, in this complication, there is an absolute, if you like, the word, it may not be correct here, order. This complication is not chaotic. This complication is the, if you like, very sophisticated nature of the order, but order. But for example, if you open this machine, you will see that all hundreds of thousands of wires and other silicon chips, whatever, they are all seems to be very complicated. No. To you, it's complicated. Study it, you will understand that every single bit there is consciously put in order to become a conscious, but from the maker's side, consciously put part of the whole order. You will understand. So don't be disappointed as much as you can really decipher the meaning of the creation around you, relate, when you read from the Quran, relate to your real world. Try to. If you don't know, work on it. I think somebody wants to ask. Yeah.
So I was reading the Quran over Ramadan, and there was a part that really kind of just troubled me. And I was talking about how, you know, when things used to be like tribal and like villages, if someone was killed from another village by a different tribe or a different village, then basically you are allowed or entitled to kill someone from that village. It's like one life for one life. And I don't know the exact wording of what it was, but it kind of troubled me because, especially with, you know, today in Paris with the killings, and the terrorists were Muslims and they were killing in the name of God. And so that kind of disturbed me because I was thinking, why is this justified? Because if some like group of people think, oh, these people have killed these people of ours, now let's go kill them. But then it's not exactly targeting the right people. So I was just kind of having trouble with that because I was trying to relate it to like now and like present time and how that works. So,
So these are the details.
yeah.
Now we are speaking in terms of the general approach to the text. So either you will bring it into your real life and have a certain attitude towards the source or the scripture you are reading. Why do you tell me this? And try to understand in your own reality, within your own reality. Of course, the problem is,
So you don't think you can look at like the reality of the world, like not necessarily in my own personal life, but just the reality of things that are happening around us?
yes, at the same time, but everything, what is happening in the world must be analyzed through your own perspective. So you have to ask yourself. But we are not going to go into these rules because these rules cannot be really, if you like, rule out or juridically decided as you read the text, because it has many other elements to come to a conclusion. But as a layman, what we have to do as a layman, look, think about it. Did it not make sense to you to killing somebody because he did something? I don't know what you are referring, which verse that you are referring to. Doesn't matter. Did it not make sense to you? Definitely, it doesn't mean what you understood and objected, because you understand that your creator is not going to offer you something which contradicts the, if you like, instincts he has put in you. So it must be understood in another way. So either ask an expert, what does it mean? Because deriving rules out of the scripture requires expertise. You know, if you have not studied law, you cannot be an attorney at law. So if someone says, come on, there is the book here where the law, charters, whatever, constitution are there, read it and apply it. They will say, if you are not a lawyer, you can't. It means you have to know how to deal with these special implications of these principles. So what we are talking about, that you can say, look, it's not my expertise. I don't know what they mean, because there must be, in other words, there must be another practice of it. A lot of arguments may have on it, but you have to judge with your own self that, look, I cannot kill somebody, right? What the verse is saying that, I don't know, I'm not an expert there, I haven't studied that. In one reason for us not to study here the fiqh rules and try to understand it, and if you like, rationalize it, it is not our expertise. What we are doing here usually, which kind of, not usually, always actually, which kind of attitude I should have towards my existence, which kind of attitude I should have towards the revelation, so that I can extract the meaning for my existence, to turn my existence into a meaningful being, so that I will be consistent within my own self and I will be at rest in myself. So we look at the Quran from belief perspective. I can easily say that if someone does not read the piece from the Quran, and that piece alone, in its practical fiqh rules, implications at the social relationship or human with human relationship, it doesn't make sense to me as far as I understand. Definitely, it is nothing to do with you. You go along with your, because you are not a judge, you are not a lawyer, you are not a legislator, you are not going to issue a rule about the practice of Islam at a social level. You are a layman for yourself. I go with my own emotions. So I don't understand what it means is exactly, but what I understand definitely, that I cannot kill anybody for not a very good reason, justifiable reason. I cannot do that. Not killing even, you cannot really hit a person, can you? If you don't have any justifiable reason. So it must be something else that I don't know. Not because it is unknowable. You are not expert. I'm not expert on fiqh matters, and you are not expert. But we understand that Quran must be understood from belief perspective first, which means belief perspective first means my Creator is not going to tell me to do something which contradicts my human quality, which is given to me by Him. It means if it was so, He would be contradicting Himself. For example, He created me with the sense not to harm another being, and telling me harm another being. It is an obvious contradiction. So it is impossible. So we will study that later on. It is in my mind that Islam is a religion of, in Arabic word, I will use it to avoid misunderstanding, futra. In English, it is translated the way the human beings are created. It means human, according to human nature. It is bound to be so. It is bound to be, because my Creator cannot say anything against my nature, and because my nature is His work. So I have to see the consistency there, and accordingly I have to have my, if you like, belief based on my reality. But it doesn't mean that I am pure, I am so refined that there is no misconception in my being. I am not under the influence of any other ideologies, etc. I have to watch out. But is there any way that I can make absolutely sure I am really correct? No. There's no way. There is no absolute truth that one can hold and claim. It is impossible. Everything will be my interpretation, my perception, my understanding, again, according to my position. I have to try my best not to confuse. Now, my best not to confuse. It means I have to try not to really divert or distort the meaning according to my, if you like, egoistic expectations. I have to watch out for myself. Then I understand every time I am really encountering with the speech of the Creator, guidance of the Creator, I will go step by step ahead. I will understand much better. But we have to see, we have to have many other disciplines to study in order to come to a conclusion, which is it needs a great scholarship. Yeah, it's not easy. But if there is a verse in the Quran really bothers you, really, we can study and go over it in general principles rather than making a legislation out of it, which is called a ruling, juridical ruling. No, we are not there. Okay. Right. Shall we move one ahead? Now, this one verse now. This is actually a verse which I was talking about. Somebody can read it, please? Who can read it?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن في ذلك لذكرى لمن كان له قلب أو ألقى السمع وهو شهيد.
Yeah. So, إن في ذلك, we will understand that ذلك means, but the translation explains it.
Indeed, there is a reminder in this, the Quran, for whoever has a heart or who listens with full intelligence.
Now, look, Quran speaks to whom?
Human beings.
Human beings, and addresses who has a heart. Yeah, who has a heart. It means, what I understand the following is, for whoever has a heart, or who listens with full intelligence. Shaheed means, actually, there are many translations, maybe 100 ways of translating this. But I chose this word, full intelligence, shaheed, because related to, really, I want to combine the heart and mind, because you cannot separate, just emphasize on it. That's why I have chosen this one. But at the same time, we know that shaheed means the one who witnesses, experiences. So, well, when you listen to the speech of God, you have to listen with your ability to witness. It means you listen, and on the other hand, you take it to your human qualities, to your feelings, not only rationalize it, to your feelings, and then witness it. Is it really so? Question. Not only use your human qualities and experience it within your own being. Can I really confirm it? Can I really support this idea? But at the same time, looking at the creation, can the idea be justified by seeing what is going on in the creation? It means in the act of the creator. So they must be hand in hand. Right? So emotionally at the end, or if you like, your heart, your feelings must be at rest. That's why saying that in this, because of the context, we understand that the Quran is speaking the revelation, the scripture. There is a reminder in this for whoever has a heart and listens with his intelligence. It means, intelligent means really looking at the universe and using your ability to see what is going on in the universe. How can you really combine them together? My feelings will say, yes, the creator of this universe is really demonstrating himself in this way, and this voice that I hear from the Quran must be aligned with it. So we have to see the parallel. or confirmation of each other.
Just wondering if one is to combine their feelings with their intellect. Why does it say or? Shouldn't it be and?
Yeah. Both of them must come to the same conclusion, must reach there. But the literature literally says L. L means or. It means either you look at this way or another way. You know, we act together, but at the same time, sometimes we listen. Sometimes we investigate the physical world, but at the end we have to combine them. We have to analyze them together and then come to a conclusion and have a satisfied heart.
Listen to your feelings and then use your intellect to make a reasoning, or it could be the other way.
Oh, yeah.
Use the intellect and then
Practice come before the tafakkur, or
I don't understand the Arabic word here.
contemplate. Practice come before the
What do you mean by
contemplation.
practice?
Like I don't know if you have the Surah Ali Imran 191. First, they say before the contemplation we have to practice, remember.
No, 191 it says tafakkur.
But first says, like I am reading from Sufi commentary, it says, first we have to practice, remember the gods, and then contemplate.
I'm sorry, because what you mean by practice is not clear.
Remembrance of God?
But it's not what do you mean by practices? Remembrance of God? Oh, that's a deep subject, and sorry that this one, you have to remember, but remember whom?
Remember God.
But how do you know God? Before you remember, you have to know, then you have to remember. Yeah, these are the big problems of remembrance. So you cannot really take it literally. We have to understand what remember means. Dhikr means, in this context that you are referring to, you can remember, but you can mention, you can look into a matter in order to understand its reality. But how are you going to do it? In the following of the verse, the same verse you are referring to, you have to reflect on it. So these are with your approach, your approach towards the matter. But this is not our subject now. So it is related, but we have to see how our relationship with the universe should be while we are listening to the message. Yeah, we are mostly concentrating on the methodology of reading the scripture and having a satisfied heart. It means reaching consistency within ourselves. It means really seeing the evidences here. So using the same terminology, because some people historically, it is not a new thing at all. It is more than 1,000 years old argument. Some people took some words and vocabulary and identified themselves with this vocabulary and then claimed ownership of it. In this verse, dhikr, the man, yadhkuruna, this dhikr is used, and a certain group of people identify their methodology or their way with the word dhikr. So wherever the Quran says dhikr, they say they are really referring to our path or our method. So whatever the meaning they gave, they attributed to this word, of course they read the Quran according to their, if you like, sectarian understanding of the word. So يتذكرون في خلق الذين يذكرون الله يذكرون. Who said that this is only, you have to make dhikr in practical form and then tafakkur? Who said that?
I'm doing research.
Oh, excuse me, I don't think.
Ottoman commentary, Bursari, maybe you heard about it.
Very well, please. No, thank you. I know him very well.
What's his idea?
But no, not his idea. It is your understanding of his idea. Yeah, don't say yes, his idea. Your understanding of his idea. It's not easy to understand Bursari, by the way. I don't claim. So there are other questions, but I understand you, but it's not related to our subject. Now, starting one.
My question is if the Quran refers to the heart in a different way than we do, as in maybe I feel like maybe the heart was also seen in some literature that I've read as being also the center of logic and intellectual capacities, it's not divided as in heart is only feelings, but it's also perceived to be a center of thinking and logic, right? So it's not like when we think of heart today and in the West I feel it like the meaning is very different than heart in Islam.
Right? We will come there. I think it is very important as far as our context is in this world is concerned. We are living in the 21st century America, so it is very important. The next verse will be about it.
Question before, she was saying, shouldn't the word be and? But could it not also intentionally be or, which is to say, you can get to the reminder whether you look at it from your heart or you look at it from your intelligence. It's like a banana, right? I can eat a banana and I know it's a banana. Or I can look at a banana, I know it's a banana. Or I can see a banana and I know it's a banana. There are multiple ways, but at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. And so my understanding of this was the Quran is speaking to us whether we pursue it through our heart or through our intellect.
So whatever the way we use, we end up with the same conclusion, and they combine. But ideally, what we will learn now in other verses, that we have to combine them, use together. Right? It is possible because all the way, it takes me to the same conclusion.
Just to clarify, just two questions came up with the word or. Even in the English language, or doesn't exactly have one definition. Like I took a class this semester, or could mean one, the other, or both. But when you generally speak in the English language, you think one or the other. So the definition is one, the other, or both. So like you can smell a banana, know it's a banana, you can see it, you can eat it, or you can smell, see it, and eat it all together.
Yeah, or yeah.
So like one or.
Thank you. Yeah. That must be so because we work together. We use all our qualities at the same time.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, like in Arabic as well, al does not necessarily mean or. It has a lot of other meanings. One of it can also be like qual, like and, or it can be conditional, so it doesn't necessarily mean mutually exclusive.
So, more than 20 meanings they list in the grammar books. Where has, for example. So, thank you.
I don't know Arabic, I apologize. I'm interested in the word reminder.
Yeah.
Because, like in English, you can have all sorts of reminders, there's different types of reminders, whether somebody talks to you or they write you a note or whatever, So, like, how is the word reminder implied? Like, is that Allah saying, I'm the reminder of you? Like, for your intelligence or your heart? Is that what Allah is saying in the Quran? This is as far as like a reminder, I'm the reminder for you?
So,
is that a clear question?
The Quran, not in this verse only, in other verses as well, quite a number of places, describes itself as reminder. So, of course, we understand that you can understand in many ways It is not forcing, just giving a gentle advice, or you already know it, or you have the capacity to know it. I am just making the suggestion to you. Use your capacity and you will find within yourself. It means reminder is a factor which speaks and addresses your reality. That's what I understand. I like this understanding. There are many comments, maybe the commentators must have written pages of pages on it. But my understanding is reminder means it is telling me to and guiding me to discover what is already within me. It is not my alien, my stranger. I wouldn't really take it from outside and inject it into me in an artificial way. It is the natural way. It means you will be reminded. What will you be reminded? What's already in you? Yeah. Because we know that human capacity must be ready to receive the message from its creator. And the creator is not unwise. I want to be kind, stupid, I was going to say. Creator is not stupid to speak to me, which is not possible for me to receive. Right? For example, you speak to somebody that he understands. It means within his capacity. You know that even human beings are given this wisdom in order to, again, understand the creator, that creator also shouldn't do that. For example, would you tell a very complicated physical problems to a primary school student? No, you wouldn't do that, because he is not ready. It is not within himself. So Quran is a reminder. It means speaks within my own capacity in order to remind me what I have already have in my being. It means read the Quran as your creator is speaking to you according to your capacity. You will expect it. The sister, for example, sister asked a fiqh problem. I don't think what the text says exactly what you narrated, but we have to study on it. But at the same time, for example, what we said here, don't try to make a rule, the law out of it, but as far as you are concerned, because you are not a legislator, so you are not the lawmaker, so what are we going to do? Since my creator is speaking to me, what is this says? This text says, most probably you read it from a translation, and maybe just on not the commentator, commentator, yeah, not commentator, not from a comment, or really exegesis, explanation, just the translation. So of course it is very extremely limited, we understand, but what we said, leave that one aside. What do you think does your creator ask you to kill somebody with no justifiable reason? Can your creator ask you to do that? It contradicts. It's contradiction. It is contradictory. So what you have to say, I don't understand this text, that we have to study, but I'm not an expert, so I don't understand this, but it should not mean, or what I understood right now, because I have to go with my reality as well. So there must be an explanation for it. And there are many, many, many explanations for this kind of problematic verses. Rule from the problem, from rule side, ruling side. Do you understand? Ruling, but then is a rule. But we are not studying the Quran from ruling perspective now. So this one came to your point. Okay? We can read?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أفلم يسيروا في الأرض فتكون لهم قلوب يعقلون بها أو آذان يسمعون بها فإنها لا تعمى الأبصار ولكن تعمى القلوب التي في الصدور.
Now, the L is used, as the sister explained before here, not an alternative, yeah, but another way next to it. So, did you get the translation? You read the translation now, you will notice exactly what the text says, especially underlined part. Would you like to? Yeah.
So have they not traveled through the earth and have hearts by which to reason and ears by which to hear? For indeed, it is not eyes that are blinded, but blinded are the hearts which are within the breasts.
Yeah, but within the breast, again, the same thing. What does it mean? Now, do you think my God is telling me your heart is in your breast, not in your tummy or something? It's obvious. Within yourself. It is within you. You are carrying it. So the hearts by which to reason. So hearts are given to reason. We have to define, if you like, redefine what reasoning is. Redefine. We have to learn how to reason by heart. It seems to be contradictory. Yeah, reasoning means something to do with mind, and heart is something emotional. It means something, to me, in a vacuum, floating, not settled down, the heart. Yeah, we have to satisfy the heart by rightly, humanly reasoning with no boundaries, no prejudices. No, we shouldn't put a condition to understand the speech of my Creator. What is the condition? For example, I learned that in this society, in this civilization, I have to do that. That's what the outside world imposed on me, right? With this condition, I now sit in front of the scripture and start reading. So whatever it says should not prevent my expectations from the world or the civilization I learned. So I have to really expose my humanity, human qualities as pure as possible. Try to clean myself from the influence of outside cultures, outside civilization. But these may be not necessarily that these culture or any influence must be atheistic influence, secular influence. No, your traditional understanding of religion also is an external influence. Whatever you learned in the name of religion from your parents are not yours. You have to ask them, stay aside. So we have to really clear our mind, our intention, as much as possible. Is it possible? Absolutely no. You cannot really clear yourself absolutely from the influence of the outside world. But we have to remember there is such an obstacle. Maybe we may be aware of or not. There is such an obstacle. I have to turn to myself and re-question again. am I being biased in anything? In anything. So you are told that, well, what shall I say? You have to do something in the name of religion. Whatever the religious culture you are grown in, doesn't matter. You have to do something. This is religious. So when you read something from the Quran or the Revelation, or hear somebody else, but it must be so. Why? Because I learned that this understanding, this attitude, whatever it is, or this action is my religion. So it contradicts. No, put it aside. Quran is very conscious about the inherited culture of the people being an obstacle in the path of the people to learn the truth. Cultural religion is the most dangerous one. Because secularist understanding, you may be aware of it. You may be really alarmed at it, saying that they don't believe in that anyways. But how about the one which comes within the, if you like, clothes of religion, or what is the word? Don't with religion. That is very dangerous. Do you understand? No, you didn't get it.
No, I didn't hear you clearly. That's all.
I see. Now, external knowledge, external cultures which are against religion are obvious, because they don't take notice, or they don't take the, at least possibility of the existence of the Creator. They say this is the world, we have to enjoy ourselves in this world until we die, and when we die we will disappear anyway, go into annihilation anyway, don't worry about it. That is easy to deal with, because you know that their main assumption is wrong. You don't agree with it, that the universe has a creator and must have a conscious creator. No, nothing can happen by itself. But that is human reasoning. Simple. Nothing can give existence to itself. So universe cannot give existence to itself. How come that it exists? No, it is I am experiencing. I don't have to go billions of years before how it happened. None of my business. It exists now. It cannot exist by itself. Whatever the stages it went through, none of my business. Now it is going through its stages. Well, I am experiencing it day by day, season by season, year by year, and also my own life experience. I was a baby and a child and a young and an old man and a very old man. So going through like that. So I know that my life, my lifespan is a witness from the beginning to the end. So I have to explain my existence right now. I know that there is somebody creating me, giving me existence. So the idea, any ideology which is based on, we call it secularist ideology, materialist ideology, it is easy to deal with because it's obvious. What is not easy, the ideology which comes to you within the clothes of religion. That is from your cultural background, from your ancestral culture, from your, I don't know, religious institutions. That is the most, if you like, hidden effect that we may be under, but we may not notice whether they are right or wrong. We have to always open to criticize or to be critical towards this cultural inheritance, which is religious, which comes to me with religion. I have to question it. I shouldn't really imitate it, because once we accept that there's a creator, this is a sensitive subject. Once we accept that there's a creator, we are inclined, we become very soft towards any ideology which accepts the existence of God. But accepting the existence of God does not necessarily make me or guide me to interpret my existence in the right way. Yes, there is a God, but this God may be the one who created the universe. Now, I am here by myself. He created the universe. He created me. I am doing everything by myself. So I have to take care of my life. I never think that I cannot take care of my life. For example, we say to each other, hi, how are you? What I'm going, take care. Bye-bye. I say, take care? I cannot take care of myself. Really? Can you? Can you? As you know, the medical expertise. Can you take care of yourself? So you can watch out, but you cannot guarantee anything. What you have to do, be aware that somebody is operating. You exist within the whole universe. You cannot really control the universe. You cannot guarantee anything for your life. But at the same time, as far as your free will is concerned, you have to choose the better one, as far as you know. It doesn't mean that you can guarantee your life, no. So we have to be very careful about the influence of the culture which comes to me with a religious cloth. Whether it is just a tradition, whether it is just a culture, or is it really religion? So we have to check with the Quran and whatever the text we have. It is a long subject. Just watch out, be careful. Yes, I think.
So, I'm wondering if in the last sentence, is it concluding that, like when it says blinded are the hearts which are within the breast, is it saying that it's their reasoning that's been blinded?
If you don't use your heart as a tool of reasoning and condition it with certain things, for example, I may have some caprices and work for it, and I may have my own definition of the universe, the world, that the world must be like this. I decided. So I cannot really hear anything else, or I cannot see anything making sense to me, because my own barrier, which is established by me, is being an obstacle in front of my investigation. So really, for example, my heart says there is a God. Okay, there is a God. I have to investigate. Really, has this universe been created? I have to investigate. If I don't, blindly follow, yes, there is a God, but I have to take care of myself. I have to really enjoy myself, etc. Without thinking, for example, the message that I have to get through this universe in order to know who this God is. For example, Quran emphatically repeats this, that you have to look at the universe in order to see the signs in the creation. Signs in the creation. Yeah. So the blindness is not, the Quran is using in an eloquent way that, not you don't see your eyes. Of course, seeing is different from really penetrating into the meaning of the things. Objective, there was somebody talking about, you were talking about the banana. You look at the banana and you say, what is this? It's a banana. But as if you looked at it, but you didn't see it as an, if you like, mercy presented to you as a gift from the Creator. So eyes have seen it as a banana, but heart have not seen the gift, the grace in its existence. So heart is blind. It means we are encouraged to use our heart in order to reason the deep meaning if you like, ingrained in the creation. We have to use that. Last one.
How are we using the heart to reason? Is it like a whole human quality?
Yes, yeah. You cannot say that, no, I'm going to stop my, close my eyes, put my fingers into my ear, and I'm not going to eat anything, but I'm going to use my heart in chest here. It's a very literalist understanding of the text, which is impossible.
The whole
It means be sincerely, look for the truth in your reality. Be sincerely look there in order to get the truth, for the sake of truth only, not in order to, for example, have an understanding which fits your expectation, which is arbitrary and artificial. It means I want to have a world where I can have a very nice apartment or a building and this kind of life. So within this condition, I need a religion which justifies my expectations. Don't make that. Shaping the religion is different from being shaped by the source. Be open. Don't put any condition. Be open. But at the same time, don't be superficial. Try our best. Last one. It is the same structure, but used in the negative way. If you don't use it, okay, let's read it, and inshallah, we have to evacuate the place before 9 o'clock. So,
لهم قلوب لا يفقهون بها ولهم أعين لا يبصرون بها ولهم آذان لا يسمعون بها أولئك كالأنعام بل هم أضل أولئك هم الغافلون.
yeah, the translation, somebody? Okay.
They have hearts which they do not understand. They have eyes with which they do not see, and they have ears with which they do not hear. Those are like cattle. Rather, they are more astray. It is they who are the people.
So what is that we are learning here? What are we learning from here? So they have eyes with which they don't see, but everybody sees. But they are like cattle. It means they see like animals see. It means see the object, and if it is good for me, I will eat it. If it is not, it's nothing to do with me. They don't see the meaning. They don't hear the voice. Yes, everybody hears the voice. Even a cat or dog also hears the voice. But don't hear it. Don't use your tools, if you like, senses, like an animal. Make sense of what you are hearing, what you are seeing, and also heart with which they don't understand. It is now yafqahun. The first word was, we are expected, we are told that we should use heart in order to reason. Now this verse says we should use heart in order to understand. It means they are all together. They explain each other. It means in order to understand, we have to use our human capacities to understand. We shouldn't act like an animal. Animals just use their instinct in a very limited capacity and live with them. They are done. They are okay. But human beings cannot do that. Okay. Inshallah, we should stop. We have to stop. Thank you. We will carry on. This was just an introduction.
One last question. Why is it that there are these verses that are closely related to each other, yet they are in different parts of the Quran? Why is that, if I could ask?
So the Quran is not an instruction book that starts from A and Z, because life is not like this. In life, you are here, everything is warm. When you go out, it's cold. Now what shall I do? And so mixed with belief matters with social matters and personal responsibilities always within each other. That's our reality. Always, mixed everything here, everywhere, spread everything everywhere. Not starting from A to Z. That life is like that.
If you're trying to write down your thoughts or your commentary on what you understand in the Quran, it's completely irrelevant. But do you organize it for yourself, or you just also go in this because it becomes very...
No. Are you asking me personal or in general?
Both.
In general.
No, I'm asking you. So.
Now, for the moment, when you, any moment you read a verse, and of course there are many commentaries on it. Try to see the experts, what they said, and try to relate them to your own life and make a guidance for yourself. You don't have to keep a diary and step by step. It doesn't work like this, because we are living in a very complicated life. We have to, rather than learning step by step, we have to all together develop stage by stage. One understanding, tomorrow you understand another thing. The day after tomorrow they understand another, according to your life conditions, according to your experiences. So there is no, if you like, static learning. There is no order instruction. There must be a word for it. Ordered instruction. Just reality of life, really. Quran speaks to your life as you are now. Stop? No? Okay? You don't have any right to ask a question. Where is your mother? So, okay. You know that she will come.
She's coming.
Okay.
There are details, technicalities that come, you inherit from cultural religion, right? You have to do this with this certain detail in this certain way. Everything has their specifics, right? So, are you saying it's better to kind of delete them from your mind and try to reconfirm them through your reading of the Quran?
No, I'm not saying this because we are not concentrating or really aiming at giving an instruction about the practical things that we do. What we are trying to do here in this class, to renew, to refresh our understanding of the fundamentals of the belief system, how we should get this belief system as it is presented to us by the Quran, not through the tradition, because the tradition is very much under the influence of various cultures, very little to do with the teachings of the Quran. Belief system, we are talking about the belief system of the Quran, or the belief system that the Quran offers to us. So think about the practical side is not very much important, because as your understanding of the meaning of your existence changes, practical side also changes its significance, its meaning to you. So don't bother about the practical side. Whatever you hear, do it if you are somehow comfortable about it, but you have to refresh. You have to refresh your belief. You've got to have your own conclusion about the belief system or any matter related to belief. It means, belief means not necessarily, I believe in God, that's it. No. Which kind of God he is? What is it to do with me? How can I relate my existence to him? How can I see his presence everywhere? Because he is supposed to be the creator of everything. These are the methods which we are trying to learn something of. Not all, a little bit from this. So a belief system should not be inherited Because in reality, you cannot inherit belief. You can confirm it by yourself. But I've never confirmed. My father told me, or the person in the religious people in my environment told me like this. It is not belief. I think it's not belief. We have to establish everything for ourselves. What? Belief system. Practical side, everything you can learn the practice from the people. You come to the masjid and see how the people are praying, you pray. But you cannot inherit the understanding of prayer. You have to yourself obtain it by studying the sources. What I mean by none of us, none of you should refer to any practical, which is called jurisprudential matter that we are talking here. No, belief. We can call it, we are studying the Quran from belief perspective in this class, which is fundamental and also, unfortunately, which is not very much talked about. Practical side everywhere. Yeah. So belief is left to inheritance. We are Muslims. Oh, we are really late. We are Muslims. We believe in God. When there is an hereafter, we are going to be taken into account for every action we do here. So let's be good Muslims, do this and this and this and this. Look, belief, the very foundation belief is skipped. We are trying to really get into this part. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.